Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy that I'm here again with you today for Mumpreneurs Go Live. And I'm this morning with Sue. Sue is an amazing woman who we've been talking, and she told me she specializes in investments and money mindset, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. When we need to do a live with you because I have so many things to ask, and I know I'm not the only one who could benefit from your experience and wisdom. Thank you for being here, Sue.
Thank you for having me. I'm very, very honored and very excited to have this conversation with you and be able to help so many other mompreneurs here in the UAE as well. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hi. All right. So today we'll talk about investment. Mompreneurs is being as you want to invest in something or you want someone to invest in your business. And we'll also cover about money mindset, right? So there are three main topics and all related to investment. Sue here is a mother of a 17 years old girl who just moved to Dubai 4 months ago. And when I asked her, just wait for this, I asked her, what's your dream destination? She told me Dubai. It's because she always wanted to be in Dubai and she had it on a vision board and now her dream come true. So I'm so happy that you are here, that you made it to Dubai and you are now have a chance that we have you in our community.
Thank you so much. It's a real honor to be here, and I'm very, I feel very accomplished. I've had Dubai on my vision board for so long, and I feel very accomplished that I made that dream come true for myself. From creating the money mindset and doing all what I share with other people is things that I've done for myself. And yeah, and the fact that I've done it, I'm very, very happy. I'm in my happy place for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. When we start talking, just preparing for this talk, you brought the word confidence.
Yeah.
So, how important is confidence in for an entrepreneur? And you also mentioned things you've done for yourself. So, you maybe want to talk from your own experience or
Yes, for
someone
sure.
that you work with your client. Tell us about that.
Yeah, for sure. So I think confidence is a big factor for many people, whether you're an employee or whether you're an entrepreneur. If you don't have that self confidence within you, you're going to struggle. So I'll just give you an example. When I was in corporate as a HR professional, I never knew when I got made redundant, I never knew how to network. I never knew how to make sales. I never knew how to market myself, and I didn't have the confidence to be a business owner. So I had to go out there and really learn and put myself out there into networking events. And I remember doing my first 60-second pitch at a networking event full of British white middle-aged men, right? And it was
Oh,
so difficult for me. I was like, I went home and I cried because it was so hard. We're not used to talking about ourselves and saying great things about ourselves, so confidence is really one of the game changers that we really got to work on. And I think just before confidence is our self-worth, is how much do we feel that we are worthy of. When we can really create that, then we can start talking about money, how much we want to create. Many of us start businesses, for example, and we don't know what is the ideal goal for our business in terms of money, whereas men are so clear on how much money they want to make. They'll be able to talk about money, they'll be able to ask for it, they'll be able to go out there and make it, whereas we're a lot more tamed. We feel ashamed or embarrassed or because it feels like we're being greedy or selfish or whatever that is. We've got a story about money, so then we don't have the confidence then to go out there and make it,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Because you are talking about, I think you're talking about me, how I used to be, and you talk about others who used to be, or maybe some of them are still there. So there is, would you feel is it a journey? Is something, or how is it someone who starting with, oh, I don't want to ask about money, and then someone like, yeah, this is how much it costs.
Yeah, yeah, very
What's,
good.
what's
And yeah, like it is a journey for sure. When I started out in business, I was like, oh, I'm going to run a business, and you kind of get excited about your business, and you do all the things. Don't you? You create a website, you do the logos and the colors, and you think that's all you do in business. But Business is when you're really transacting, when you're actually making money. All that other stuff is, I call them non-income producing activities, all right, as opposed to income producing activities. So income producing activities, but you can do that once you can really understand your relationship to money. If you're scared of making money, if you're and we won't consciously be scared of making money because everybody wants to make money, right? But we have subconscious stories, limiting beliefs about our relationship to money. So I had to really look at, what is my past story? What is my past relationship to money? What did my parents say to me about money? What did I grow up in terms of, what did I understand around money? And then when I started to unpack that and change my story around money, I started to create more and more and more. So it is a transition, it is a journey, and you've really got to have a relationship to money. So, as another example, if you talk negatively about it, you don't like talking about it, you're embarrassed about it, then you will not attract money to you. So, money is definitely a mindset shift, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and also when you're really ready to receive it. I just give an example. Actually, when we were young, in our culture, when your grandparents or relatives want to give you money for your birthday or whatever,
yeah.
my parents used to be like, no, 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 don't take their money. It felt like money was a bad thing if somebody gave it to you,
Oh,
and so I used to hate asking people for money, you know but I really worked on that, my story around that, and of course now I love asking people for money. I'm one of those people that, I don't feel embarrassed, or I don't
yeah,
feel shy or guilty about talking about money. I think we've really got to create that relationship with
yeah.
it to, have it in your life.
Yeah, wonderful. And that makes me aware of how I want to be with my son when
Very
people
good.
give me money. So I'll share that with my husband to make sure we are united. Thank you
Yes,
for
very
sharing
good. Yeah, very good. Just on
that.
that as well, I think as well, sorry,
No,
just I
tell me.
wanted to add just a small piece in that as well, is that when you tell yourself that things are too expensive or I can't afford it, you're not ready to receive money,
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you can buy anything you want. You're just choosing to prioritize your money somewhere else. All
yeah,
right, so you got to start using different language and different words. Like, things are not expensive, they're just worth the value that somebody has put on that thing, right? It just means that right now you're prioritizing your money somewhere else, you
yeah.
know so really relating to yourself. When you say that you can't afford it, you're saying that you're not worthy of that thing right now.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that because I know you do two things. You do investments and money mindset, right?
Yes,
So we
yes.
started because I see how passionate you are and experience and knowledge and on that, on money mindset. And I love to move towards investment. And tell me, how does money mindset work with investment? How are they
Yeah.
connected?
Yeah, they're very, very connected, because when you're living in lack mentality and scarcity, you're not ready to take risks. Like, you're always worried about losing your money, you're always worried about your money running out, and you're not open to risk. And I'll just give you an example. Like, in 2016, I separated from my husband after 10 years in the February. In the March, I lost my job, and in the April I had to sell my house. So you can imagine it was a really tough year, right? And from there I was like, oh my god, I don't have any money, I can't, do anything, I can't put myself out there. Like, I was just constantly having this conversation, and I wasn't taking any risks, I wasn't sharing about my business, I wasn't putting myself out there. And so then I just got more of lack and scarcity in my life. I didn't grow my business significantly. I just made enough to be comfortable, and I don't want to just be comfortable. I want to be so abundant. I want to have overflow of money where, we can make choices, and people will say, like, money isn't everything, but money does help you make better choices, for your children, your future. So the way that money mindset really works with investments is, you can open your mindset to taking risks. Now, one of the most amazing books that I've read is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if you've read that. Have you read that?
Yes, and I wish I read it 20 years ago. Or
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah,
an
I wish I read it
amazing,
so long ago. Yeah.
yeah, it's such an amazing book, and it really teaches you how to, like we put a value on our time. So we exchange time for money, when we're working in a job. He talks about the cash flow quadrant.
Yeah.
And what he says is that, when you exchange time for money, you can only make so much money when you do that, because you're going to run out of hours. you know but when you start looking at, investing or running a business, you're starting to now leverage people and money. And what he was saying, and what he says in that, is that most people spend the money that they make. All right. But wealthy people spend the money that their money makes.
Mhm.
So just take that in for a second. All right. Most people spend money that they make, but wealthy people spend the money that their money makes. You see, there's a double layer.
Yeah.
So it's around, how do you now create making your money work for you. All right. And that is through investing, is opening your mindset and trusting yourself that you're going to make the right decisions. Obviously you've got to do due diligence, and we talk about that in a second. But it's about trusting yourself to now be open to receiving more money.
Yeah, thank you. I like the way, yeah, the book. I love the book. I think I listened twice. I was mind blowing for me. It was. So now you brought investment, and as we did this workshop together. I said one about the other, and as mompreneurs, we had both, right? The businesses who are doing well, the mother entrepreneurs who have savings or revenues from business or from whatever they want to invest. And we also have the ones who are new to business or they want to scale and they need investment. And I feel they are like yin and yang together. One without the other is not possible, right?
100%.
So we like to touch on
Yeah.
both of now today, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about we touch a bit on investment, and let's stay with that. If you are an investor, what are the things what people usually let's start with mistakes. What is the mistakes that people do when they invest?
Yeah. So one of the mistakes that people make is that they don't do enough research. Okay. In terms of what investment that they're making, that you've really got to spend a lot of time doing your due diligence around
Yeah.
investments. So what I mean by that is, somebody could come to you and say, oh yeah, we've got this amazing investment opportunity. All right. And you've got to start really asking questions and looking under the hood. Asking questions like, how do you make your money? Um, what so number one is how do you make your money. Number two
Mm-hmm.
is like really doing a background of like, who is the person that is sharing this investment with you, what's their background. All right. What do they know, how do they know, what's their expertise around it, are they licensed, are they regulated, what's their history in terms of making the money, what are the trends. So how many years have they shown profits, how many years have they shown losses. And obviously looking at the trend pattern. So we went to look at an investment company yesterday, and they were very transparent. They showed the charts of all the money that they'd invested, and they also showed where they had less profits, and you could see that they made less profits during COVID, but they showed all that. They're very, very transparent, and they show you exactly the books, their profit and loss, how much they have made, how much they've lost, how much they've invested, how many investors they have, really looking under the hood in terms of all of those things. And then doing your research about the company as well. And it's not just Google. Most people go to Google to do their research. That's not where you would do it. Google is a search engine, it's not a research engine. Okay, so you've got to
Okay.
look at all other aspects. Who are the people that they know, who can you talk to, do they have investors that you can connect to, that you can speak to, do they have a community, what is the community saying, are they on Trustpilot, are they on LinkedIn, are they on some of these other um, trusted websites, are they regulated by the FCA, or whatever country that you're in, are they regulated by those financial authorities. I think that's really, really important. But also as well, it's not just about going to that one person. You got to really understand it fully. What the mistake that many people make with investments is they just give their money to somebody and hope that their money's going to come back. You know, you got to be interested in it. Is, you know, are you checking it weekly? How is your money progressing? Are you checking it weekly, monthly, periodically? Are you having meetings with these people about, you know, with the progression? How is it going? You know, don't just hand your money to somebody, your hard-earned money to somebody, and expect them to make the money for you. That's not their job. You know, money is created through you, so you know you've got to give it energy. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah, it's a bit, would you call it, say it esoteric, a bit, energy and that, but yeah, we say that the money is an exchange in energy. All right, so we
Yes,
need to do our, people don't do enough research, right, as you
for
say. All right,
sure.
what else?
So that's really like the main thing is that you've
Yeah,
really got to spend probably 80% of your time on the due diligence and the research.
yeah,
Okay. And then obviously, you know, the transaction, you know, often people do a lot of, the other thing about research is that you could do too much research and then not do anything with it. You know, loads of people make that mistake as well, right? Is, oh no, they're just continuously researching
it's
and then not taking
analysis.
any action,
Yeah, it's
you
like
know.
analysis paralysis. I heard about
Paralysis,
it.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Like, you know,
yeah,
at some point you just got to decide, okay, I've done this much research, I can trust these people, I trust myself, you know, this is what, you know, the forecast is that I'm going to get back, what are the returns I'm going to get back for my money. I think that's another thing as well that you've really got to think about is, you know, is it the right investment for you? So I'll give you an example. We were looking at a salon business for an investment recently, and you know, it was doing really really well, but the money that they were asking for, um, it was like a 3-year return on investment, which means it will take 3 years for me to break even on the investment that I made.
yeah,
All right, so then I have to decide, is 3 years good enough for me, or do I want that in 2 years, or do I want that in 1 year, you know,
yeah.
for the level of investment? Because don't forget, whatever you're investing in, your money is going to be tied up in that investment for that amount of time before you even make a profit, you know. So so really just looking at all of that as well, is how long do you want your money to be tied in, and when do you want to be able to see the profits, or break even and then see the profits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think it's a lot to talk about it, and the way you say, I took notes here, you know. Thank you. Yes, great. All right. Now let's look at the other side, like other side of the coin, you know.
Yeah.
Um, what tell us about, if a company, if someone, want to start or want to scale,
Yeah.
when is it a good time to get money, and what is it that we want to know for a company who wants
Yeah,
to get
very
invested?
good, very good. For
Can you hear me?
sure. So, as a business owner, I have also met business owners in these last few months, in researching investments. Is you've really got to know your numbers. You know, you've got to know what are all the, what is the income coming in, and where does that income come from. But also, you got to know what are all the expenses. And I love spreadsheets when it comes to money. Okay, you know, I love a good spreadsheet and a tracker, because that's the best way. Like, what doesn't get accounted for, like, you don't know, you know, where money is hemorrhaging, you know, where money is leaking out of your business. So I know exactly every penny that comes in and every penny that goes out. Okay, or
Mm,
dirham, every dirham that comes in and every dirham that goes out. So it's really important that you track all the income that comes in, and then where are you, what are your expenses. And expenses include all your marketing costs, you know, whether you're doing Facebook ads, your staff, if you have staff, or your stock, packaging, all of those things. So everything should be going on your expenses, you know. Travel, accommodation, anything like that that is included in your business should all go be accounted for. One of the things that we're not good at as women, I've experienced as well, is really tracking and knowing our numbers. You know, I've met so many business women and businessmen. Men are easy, you know, they quickly reel off the percentage increases, you know, where they are, what, you know, how much they made, how much they've lost, just like that. Whereas when we're not always in sync with the money, that, you know, the numbers. So it's really important to get know your numbers.
Yeah. And what do you think makes a difference between women, us, and men? What makes
um
us different?
yeah, I think men just generally have a lot more confidence. They don't think about, oh, if I do this then this will happen, or if I do that then what will they say, or what will they think of me. That they don't, a lot of many men don't have that. Men will just be like, right, let's do business. They're here to do business. They just straight in, they talk straight. They don't have anything, they don't have any other agenda apart from making money, right? And often we make them wrong because they're looking to make money, right? But if
Yeah.
your goal is to make money, then you need to embrace that identity of a businesswoman. And they say that, if you treat your business as a hobby, you get paid like it's a hobby. But if you treat it as a real business, you get paid like a businesswoman.
Yeah. 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 I like that. Yeah. All right. We have a question here.
Yeah.
So we have hello. So hello everyone.
Hi,
And
everyone.
what are key indicators that we need to be aware of while considering return on investment?
Very good. So, number one is obviously looking at the trend, the history of each investment, like, what has been the trend, what has been the history. And then, obviously, the things that you would need to look at is if you're investing, say, $1 million, a million dirhams, for example, into a business, okay, is the person who you're investing with needs to give you a forecast of how long will it take you to get your return on investment. So, when will you break even? And then also, what is the longevity of this business? So take, for example, this salon, right, that we went to see. It's been going for 8 years, so it's very established, it's very solid, and they're making really good returns. If I was going to invest $1 million in their business and they're making 500,000 a year, it would take me 2 years to break even, let's say, round figures. Yeah. That was their profit is 500,000, for example. It will take me 2 years to break even. And then really looking at, okay, is there potential for growth for you? What can you do to really grow the business so that it's making more than the 500,000 a year? Like, is there potential for that? Can you extend? Can you offer more services? That will help you get your return on investment faster. But also, are you willing to tie up your 1 million for 2 years before you break even? So
Yeah.
the way that I look at it is, I have to work in that business for 2 years before I even make any money on my money.
Mhm.
You see,
Mm. Yeah.
you know. So is it a worthy business? I don't know.
Yeah.
It all depends on how much time and energy you want to give to an investment.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. All right. Can you please tell us what would be the, is it an industry or sectors in a way? How would you say that were the best investment at the moment if one looks to make investments?
So I don't give financial advice, so I just want to say that to everybody.
On
So I think,
your opinion, on your
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. So it is everything is down to obviously you to go and do your research, right? But we're looking at loads of things. I think what's important is that you diversify your investments. Don't put all your money into one place.
Mm.
When I was employed, I only earned money through my job. Okay, then I set up a business. Then I only earned money through my business. So when my business stopped in COVID, again, I was no income. So it's really important that you diversify your income. So gold is a good investment, and not jewelry, but like bars or coins is a really, really good investment. If you've got a safe, you want to buy a couple of those and keep them in your safe. So gold is continuously increasing in value. What else? So investment. So we're starting to look at investments in terms of not real estate as such, but commercial investments. So a company who's looking to buy a commercial property and they're looking to rent space out and stuff like that. So we're looking at commercial property, and of course, bricks and mortar property is always good to have because it's a solid investment. But again, do your research around, what are the best areas. If you've got a lot of money, then off-plan properties where people are starting to flip rather
Yeah.
than buying off-plan properties. So there's loads of different ideas, and of course, there's your interest as well. We've been looking at, like, do Bizzle sell any business? Like, we're looking at different, but it's really important that you do your research, meet with the people, find out how they are, what kind of people are they are. And one thing that I would say is that, me personally, I wouldn't go into partnership with anybody. I just think everybody starts a business, or a partnership, with good intentions, but then somewhere along the line, there's always, in my HR, with my HR hat on as well, I work with business owners who are partners, and they always hated each other. They started off well, but then it never works out. So I would be very, very cautious, and, in my opinion, be very I would never set up a partnership with somebody. It would always be, I would always look to set up my own business, and then have somebody working with me as a co-worker, if that makes sense. Just because once you go into partnership with somebody, and if you fall out, then that's your livelihood, their livelihood, and the success of that business at stake. And it's a big risk.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, we have 4 more minutes, and I have one more question. If you can,
Yeah.
like to make it short. So I hear a lot when people, members, mompreneurs want to start their business, but they don't have the money to really start as they like to start it. How would these women, what they can do to get money? What do you think that can be done for them?
So I think it's really important to have a business plan. So what is your business model? What is it that you want to do? And then create a forecast. So how much is it going to cost to set up your business? And then a forecast of, once you set your business up, is over how many months are you going to make X amount of money? Okay. So say, for example, you're going to set up a salon. You need to have equipment. Obviously, you need to have the premises, you need to have equipment, you need to have products, and you need to do marketing for people to come to your new salon, right? So those are the kind of things you need to think about. But then, if you know that your brand and your selling point is going to be, very different to somebody else's, and I think that's key as well, is why would people want to come to your salon over somebody else's salon? So have that USP. What is your unique selling
Yeah.
point as well? And then also understanding who is your clientele. All right. So those are the first few things. And then you got to look at what is the turnover that you want to create. So how much do you want to make in sales? So profit
Yeah.
and sales are very different. Sales is how much money you're going to bring into the business from the number of clients that you have. And then, of course, profit is minus all the expenses, the rent, the electricity, whatever, the staff payroll. What is the profit that you're going to make at the end of each term? And you want to
Yeah.
do that every month, every quarter, every year. And then that's what is then going to help you to bring in front of investors to show them whether it's a worthy investment or not. Again, always focus on return on investment.
Yeah. Yeah. Return on investment for everyone, for yourself and for the others.
For everyone. And like, something that I teach my daughter is that, what you want to look at in terms of making money in your future is always look at how can you be more valuable for that 1 hour. So there'll be people who work 10, I don't know, 50 dirhams an hour, for example, as opposed to people who work 500 dirhams an hour.
Yeah.
So you got to look at is where do you want to put your value and create that identity, is how can you make your 1 hour be worth more.
Yeah. Wow. Love that. Great. I told you, half an hour will go so fast.
It has gone super fast. It's been
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And if people want to hear more about you, to have additional questions or that, how they will find you?
So they can find me on LinkedIn, Su Patel, and I'm also on Instagram as the Su Patel. And I have actually got a YouTube channel as well, all about self-worth, abundance, and money mindset as well. It's called Self-Worth and Abundance.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, Sue. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure talking to you. And I feel we needed like 5 hours,
For
not half an hour, but that's just the beginning. And,
sure.
we
Sure.
take as much as we can. And thank you. Thank you for everyone who listened. and keep come back next time for more expertise and wisdom from other mompreneurs next week. Thank you
Amazing.
so
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.